So I think it's incumbent upon the media to hold Kamala Harris to the same standard that every other nominee who earned their nomination has ever been held to. Donald Trump in 2016, Barack Obama in 2008, they all had to go through more than a year of testing at town halls and VFWs and debates because they earned the nomination. Kamala Harris had it given to her. For 2 weeks, she's dodged the press. She can't dodge the press for another 13 weeks.
Are you personally okay with him questioning whether she's black?
Ed, he wasn't saying that what matters is how she identifies as her race. He explicitly said he didn't care. One was fine, the other was fine, both was fine. She identifies as a dangerous San Francisco liberal. That's the danger to the American people.
That's Republican Senator Tom Cotton making a valid point about Kamala Harris being untested due to inept and incurious members of the media, only to have a pretend journalist on CBS prove his point by changing the subject to race-baiting gotcha questions about Trump. Welcome to Nerk News, I'm Nerkish, and Tom Cotton has been on a bit of a tear recently. First, he shredded the political hacks on CNN, and now he's calling them out on Face the Nation. And spoiler, they weren't too thrilled with someone criticizing their new, unquestioned, elite-backed, celebrity-boosted, installed Democrat nominee.
Do you think he's underestimating the potential strength of the Harris campaign now that she's at least brought the campaign back to even?
No, I think we always knew this campaign was going to be a close race. But remember, she's only been the nominee for 2 weeks now. She hasn't answered a single question, not one single question by the media, Ed. She's only had one single unscripted moment Thursday night at Andrews Air Force Base welcoming those hostages back. And she served up the kind of incomprehensible word salad for which she's become famous. When she has to encounter the media, and I'm sure you're going to insist that she does, she's going to have to answer for things like why she wants to eliminate oil and gas production in this country, why she wants to ban gas-powered cars, why she wants to confiscate private firearms. So we knew this race was going to be close all along, whoever the Democrats wanted to put up against President Trump. But Kamala Harris has only been the nominee for 2 weeks and hasn't answered a single question. When the American people get a better look at her and her radical positions, I think you're going to see that they don't want her to continue the Biden-Harris legacy.
I appreciate that you're critical of her not doing more interviews and engaging in more unscripted events.
You know, it's funny how that guy acts like it's completely out of the media's control to do anything about Harris dodging them. I mean, so far she's only committed to doing one debate next month and is rejecting all other offers. On top of that, she said she's only planning to do one interview before the end of the month. Not to mention she's answered 0 adversarial questions from the media so far, and all they can do is act indifferent or praise this as some sort of brilliant political strategy. Which, remember, by the way, these are the same people who pretend to be selfless heroes and defenders of truth.
Events. You've just done a decent job there of explaining the potential policy differences between the former president and the vice president, but Trump doesn't do that himself.
No,
he once
Ed,
again
I
this
dispute
week,
that.
but he wants, let's hold on a second. What earned him the most attention this week? Questioning whether or not the vice president is black. That became the big focus on him this week, instead of those conversations about policy that you suggest should be the focus of the campaign.
No, Ed, I dispute that. I watched his conversation at the National Association of Black Journalists. I watched last night at his rally in Georgia. The vast majority of that time is spent contrasting his record of peace and prosperity and the Biden-Harris record of high inflation and a wide-open border and war and chaos around the world. I know you played a clip of him airing differences with other Republicans, but the vast majority of it was what you showed at the beginning of this show when he talks about Kamala Harris' record of being a radical trans activist or wanting to ban cows or ban oil and gas production. That's where President Trump's focus has been throughout this campaign. And as the American people start getting answers from Kamala Harris, which, as you said, I'm sure you're going to insist upon, you got shamed by the White House last month for having the temerity to ask about Joe Biden's age and infirmity. They're not going to like what they hear.
You know, this is a new liberal talking point, and you're going to see it a lot in the coming months. Now that Biden isn't running, they've really been trying to paint Trump as a doddering old man who's rambling incoherently and lashing out at people without focusing on his policy or contrasting his positions with Democrats. But here's the catch. They're the ones refusing to show his speeches and cherry-picking every clip where he misspeaks or says something off color. Once again, it's the left being dishonest and trying to project all the problems they've created onto their opponents. But let me know what you think. Will establishment media ever go after Harris a fraction as hard as they've gone after Trump? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. That stuff really does help us out. Until then, this has been Nerk News. Thanks for watching. Boy!